Welcome in. This is a five hole on Variety Sports Network. My name is Brandon. That's Aaron over here. We're going to talk some NHL. Best time of the year. Best time of the year. Best playoffs in all of sports. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's Stanley Cup playoff time. All teams.
And it's also the hardest
It
in
is the
all
hardest trophy
sports.
to win. I 100% agree with that, and I will argue to anybody who says it's not, especially NBA. No,
Oh God,
come on, come on.
absolutely not.
Yeah. Uh, a lot of interesting things coming into the playoffs this year. Six brand new teams who haven't been there, who didn't qualify last year, are in the playoffs this year. Seven of those teams have new head coaches. And then there's four teams total that haven't won a Stanley Cup before. And that's Minnesota, Buffalo, Utah, and Ottawa. So these teams get a chance to finally win a Stanley Cup. Aaron, we'll start off with that question. Which one of those four has the best shot to win a Stanley Cup?
Wow, that's tough. Honestly, I have to go with Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm a little skeptic on Gustafson because he's been stinking up the joint in between the pipes the last 10 games. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing that scares me. But if I had to choose, I would have to say Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. They're a team that has been in the playoffs quite a bit, but have run into some powerhouse teams in the first round. Rather, it's been Dallas, uh, I think Winnipeg a couple of
Yep.
years ago. St. Louis is another one of those teams that you can throw in there. But this matchup, which was the first playoff series that was determined a long time ago before anything else, because Colorado ran away with the Central this year. No surprise whatsoever, in my eyes, that Colorado ended up being the one seed in the West and the President's Trophy winner. Two legit contenders are meeting here in the first round with Dallas and Minnesota. Um, you think this one goes seven? I don't see how. I agree. I don't know if I trust the goaltending enough for Minnesota. But is Dallas that much of a difference for it not to go 7 games?
I think it goes seven just because Minnesota has improved tremendously.
Yeah.
Like their blue line is good. I mean, Quinn Hughes, amazing. He's already set a Minnesota record and he's been there since December, which makes it even better.
Right.
Maybe the Wild should have listened to you and the other Brandon about trading Binnington to Minnesota. Maybe they should have did that instead. But I think if I'm Minnesota, I would do Wallstat just because Gustafson, even though the last 10 games he's been bad, like I was saying, he really wasn't that good in the Olympics. I feel
Yeah.
like he's just so shaky. And Dallas is what they're going to do is they're going to have Rantanen and Jace Robertson just go right down the middle every time in the offensive zone. And I feel like they are just going to obliterate Gustafson. So if I'm Minnesota, you got the Foligno brothers, you got Quinn Hughes, Matt Boldy, you got all these not like amazing guys. I think it's gonna go seven against Dallas,
Yeah.
and I think Dallas is gonna lose this one.
You
I'm
think
putting my stamp on it.
you think Dallas is out in the first round?
I think so, and
How's
I
that?
think
How's that?
what sucks is that we see it again with two good matchups. Like last year was Colorado Dallas. Now this year it's Minnesota Dallas. So it's
Yeah.
like something's got to give. But I do like Minnesota this year and the improvements that they have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I can't argue. I mean, I don't want to say argue with that. I think Dallas is just. I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals last year, correct? I think against
Last two
Edmonton.
years, I believe.
Last 2 years. Um, both the times it fell short against Edmonton. Uh, I think that Dallas team is a team that if once they get in and get some momentum and kind of get rolling, they'll be fine. I think they have a little bit more um, firepower. I don't know if I trust their defense as much. I think their goaltending is good, but offensively, both of these teams they're pretty solid.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the offensive side of the puck. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me add Brandon to the stage. Brandon, welcome in.
How's it going?
It's going. I'm gonna ask you a quick question, really quick. Same question I asked Aaron to start the show. It's four teams that haven't won a Stanley Cup in the playoffs this year: Minnesota, Ottawa, Buffalo, and Utah. Which of those four is your favorite Who do you think has the best chance to win the Stanley Cup out of those four?
The kind of the downslide that Minnesota had, I would have said them probably earlier on, like in the middle part of the season. But with kind of how things have shaped out for them towards the end of the season, I'm not really so much favoring them anymore. I would favor almost Utah in a way. Just because of how much better that they've been playing over the last stretch of the season. I feel like they can come together and play some really good hockey compared to Ottawa or the other team that you said. I can't remember who you said.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Even though Buffalo has been playing really, really good hockey, I still feel like Utah could probably take it over Buffalo.
Now, I will say Sean Durzi still has that lower body injury, but I think it's just his hand. So he should be good for the playoffs.
Utah. It's an interesting pick. The guys that I asked to come on tonight were Utah. They do a Utah Mammoth podcast. So I was hoping that they would be able to jump on tonight with us, but they had some other things going on that aren't able to make it now. So it's what it is. It's part of life. Looking at the Western Conference, I don't know for sure. I don't think they're 100% set yet. Besides Minnesota and Dallas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anything is set yet. Besides that one.
Correct.
Yeah, I know the Pacific still is kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
Seeding wise.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I think that was coming down to like the last game. I think.
Right. Let me see what the latest, see what things are looking up for. But hey, who's your favorite in the West, Aaron?
Oh boy. I mean, I want to roll the dice and go Vegas just because of Torts, but I might have to just go with the Avalanche on this one. Yeah. Even though they were a little shaky in the middle of the season, just who they have, what they have, like they've been here so many times. They have to be the favorites.
Right. That's fair. Brandon?
I'm kind of in agreement. I feel like with just how much of a juggernaut hockey that the Avs have played over the course of the season, yeah, they had a little bit of a slip up, but I mean, they've been playing just on top of the world hockey this season, and I feel like there's not going to be very many teams aside from potentially maybe Dallas that could maybe take them out. But other than that, I feel like it's going to be Colorado's playoffs more or less to lose.
Yeah. I feel with the way, I would agree. I think Colorado, but you still have Edmonton. Edmonton, even though they haven't had as strong of a season this year as they've had in the past, their goaltending scares me.
Yeah. Plus, and you got McDavid that can do McDavid-like things in the playoffs.
Yeah. I've also said that the last 2 seasons with the goaltending issue.
Is he going to be back for the playoffs?
Not first round.
I'll be right back. I'm going to run this upstairs. You guys.
Yeah. Edmonton, I don't think they're even going to make it to the West Conference Finals. Connor Ingram and Tristan Jarry. Like, that's worse than Stuart Skinner combined. So
yeah, I mean I felt like they were. Sorry, they probably felt like they were going to be in a better situation trading for Jarry than having Stuart Skinner. Which I mean, you saw a little bit of Stuart Skinner of old whenever we were playing against Pittsburgh last night, where they were up 4-1. And I felt like between some of the goals that St. Louis got on Pittsburgh, that I felt like some of those goals could have been easily saved by Stuart Skinner. But I mean, still, those are all something that it's all what ifs at that point. But I mean, yeah, especially if they're going to be going up against LA, which I think that's even something that's one of the question marks still of how that series is going to go start. I mean, having another series against LA, who I mean, yeah, they had kind of an off and on kind of year. I feel like that's something that LA could potentially take this series against Edmonton this year.
Yeah. Yeah, because they sit 1 point. LA sits 1 point behind Edmonton for the 2 spot. So there's a possibility they could even get, well, maybe not because of regulation wins.
From what I heard
Unless they
on
jump in,
Locked On
Edmonton loses.
Kings, the Kings have to win and Edmonton has to lose in regulation.
Right.
But Edmonton plays the Canucks. So kind of know how that is.
Yeah. And LA plays the Flames. So
Yeah. It's like
we all know how that could potentially go.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to run something upstairs.
You're good.
Prediction. No. Just put this. Yeah, I don't know though. I don't know if Colorado, the way they've played towards the end of the season, it hasn't been as impressive as they were at the start of the season. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one for me to be like Colorado for sure, because Dallas is good. Dallas is good. And it's hard to bat the eye away from Vegas. There's a lot of experience there when it comes to the playoffs.
And they just got a new coach.
Yeah, literally within the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy stuff too. I mean, why would you fire your coach in the midst of it? I mean, apparently it's worked because now they're sitting 1 in the Pacific.
the only problem is their goaltending. It's like, do you trust Aiden Hill or Kier Schmidt or Carter Hart? It's like, yeah, Aiden Hill gave you that run a few years ago, but it's like he's been looking very sus this year, and I don't know. I mean, Torts is going to give everything he's got. We've seen him in the playoffs, and like they have the squad. It's just how far can he push them?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I see any team. I think it'll be a Western Conference. Well, I guess it might not be.
So who do you guys think is the weakest Western Conference team?
Anaheim.
I could see that.
I think Anaheim is. They haven't looked very good. They had all the opportunity to secure the Pacific and be the one seed or the one spot in the Pacific and get home ice advantage. Now they're looking at it. They don't beat Nashville tomorrow night, and LA beats the Flames. They're looking at taking on Colorado instead of somebody in their own division.
Oof.
I think they'd have a better chance. So I think, to me, it's Anaheim. I think Anaheim's the weakest. The team I don't expect much from is Anaheim.
Yeah, my tips would be in the same corner for that one. Out of all the teams, the West has been a pretty strong conference, let alone, I mean, the numbers don't really show for it all that much. You look at the points on the standing, and the Western Conference has less points than majority of the teams on the Eastern Conference. But I mean, that just goes to show that how much, I guess, that could show how much stronger of a conference that the West is. That they just a little bit more evened out than what you saw than what you can kind of see in the East. Yeah. But I feel like out of all the teams that we're kind of looking at on the West, I would agree that it's more or less probably Anaheim.
Yeah,
that's the weakest.
Weakest going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't want to see any former Rangers get a cup. So
you talking about JT?
Yeah, I'm talking about all of them.
Torchak? Is he in Anaheim?
No. Chris Kreider, Trocheck, Strome.
That's a lot of Rangers. A lot of Rangers players. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think they haven't impressed me very much over the last couple of weeks for me to give them a buttload of confidence going into the playoffs. It's a team that hasn't been there in a while. They're young. Their goaltenders aren't super stellar. They only have 25 regulation wins on the season, which this could be a talk for a different show, but I hope at some point the NHL changes their points system.
I think they were thinking about it.
I think they need to.
No, what they need to change is the playoff format.
I mean, I don't mind this, but at the same time, I don't think it's great. But I think the points I think if you get out of overtime and get to a shootout, you should get the extra point, not just getting to overtime.
Well, you think it should be if you lose in overtime, then you shouldn't get the extra point. It should only be shootout, you think?
Yes.
That's interesting. I think that would be pretty cool.
It's not much of a change.
It would be an interesting factor to it all, definitely.
Yeah. I think you would see better overtime play. I mean, I love overtime at the same time. Don't get me wrong. I love watching overtime hockey. 3-on-3 is a blast to watch sometimes with the right guys on the ice. But I think it would have changed things up just a tad. And then, maybe it wouldn't have, but I don't think LA wouldn't have got in. Anaheim probably wouldn't have gotten in. And it might have looked a little different in the East too.
Yeah, potentially. Who does Anaheim have left on their schedule? Do they have anybody? Who? Nashville?
Yeah.
I feel like they could probably take the game. I don't know, 2-6-2 for the last 10, and Nashville's been playing a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a questionable one.
I think Nashville will beat them. They did the other night pretty easily.
Yeesh.
We'll see.
Hold on. There's a comment here. Thanks for watching. Thoughts on the absolute terrible matchup that goes both ways for Dallas and Minnesota and Tampa and Montreal on the other side. Yeah, it sucks. It does suck. Because like we mentioned when we were talking about the Stars Wild first round matchup, like if you're a Minnesota fan, you really have to be tired of, or even Dallas. You really have to be tired of playing powerhouse contenders in the first round. I mean, like Aaron said, it was Colorado, they've not. I don't think it was Colorado. It was Winnipeg or St. Louis a couple years ago, and then Dallas as well. I mean, it's not the first time I don't think these two teams have met in the playoffs in round one. But yeah, I agree. It sucks if.
In this kind of format, you always have those kind of conference final matchups somehow or another in the first round or second round. It's bound to happen somewhere in this playoff format.
I get that, but why the first round?
Ask Bettman.
I get at the time what they were doing. If we could ever get him onto the show, that would be something that for sure would ask. Well, where would they be if they were? So they're what, second in the West? So they would play Utah as of right now. No,
if they went the 1-8 format, yeah, it would be Utah. Say it would be the 7th seed.
So who are we looking for, or who are we looking at for you?
So they play the 6th seed. So the 6th seed, because they would be the 3 seed in the West, right? Minnesota would be.
Yes.
So they would take on the 6th seed, which would be
Anaheim.
Yes. Well, no, because Utah would be above them. It would be Utah.
But they're a wild card team.
You would get rid of the wild card.
Oh, get rid of wild. Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
Oh, what, in the 1 through 8?
Right, because it'd be 1 through 8. Oh, because we're going by the points too.
Yeah,
so
1 to 8.
I guess Utah would be over Anaheim.
Yeah, they would be.
And the possibility that we play Vegas if Utah beats the Blues tomorrow night. Is that really helpful?
I don't know how that would work then. That would be
It wouldn't be powerhouses, so I guess that's good. But
Yeah.
you would get a terrible matchup with Minnesota and Anaheim.
I mean, either way, the next round you're going to have to play Dallas if they were to win, right? The way it went.
Yeah, I don't think people care about second or common.
Yeah.
I think this is the first round people care because like even what was it like 2 years ago? It was like the Jets versus Colorado, and
Yeah.
they went like 7 games. It was just like blowout after blowout after blowout. People were like, "It's a powerhouse,"
Right.
but it was just crappy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you look at St. Louis and Winnipeg last year, there wasn't a road
That was
team
a
that won a
gauntlet.
single game.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
that's
like
true.
talking about it either, but I hate talking about it. And I hate when I'm scrolling. I'm having just, for example, this is a rant really quick. I'm having a great day, and I'm scrolling through X, looking at things, and all of a sudden I see freaking Kyle LaFallo's freaking goal to tie the game or to win the game. I think it was tie the game to tie the game.
Oh, at the
3.6
last several minutes,
last several
several
seconds.
seconds. Sorry.
Yeah. On the Tampa Montreal side, Aaron, you're a little more familiar with the East. I mean,
I don't think that's a bad matchup. In all honesty,
I don't think so. Yeah.
no, I actually think Montreal is going to give Tampa a big fight. I don't trust Kirby Doc though. He's been playing like crap. So if anything, I wouldn't put as much minutes on Kirby Doc because he has been hurt for most of the year. The only thing that's going to get me with Montreal is just their goaltending because you're going to have rookie Fowler from Boston College, or I don't even think they're going to do Montembeault. I don't even know what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
But that their goaltending is a little sus, but everything else is good. Like Cole Caulfield, 50 goal scorer. You got Suzuki, who is 100 points, hasn't had since 85, which is nuts, by the way, for that franchise. Their blue line got better. They got Dobson. Like it's actually gonna be really good against Tampa. I feel like it's just Tampa has the most experience, even though most of these Canadians played Washington last year.
Right.
So I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I don't know. I can't put I would say maybe 6 games, but I think St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to get them going because he's like a father figure to them.
Yeah.
All the young guys.
I could see this matchup being the underdog matchup to seeing the 3 seed taking out the Canadians beating the Lightning. I could see that.
So it's 2019, and we're going like that.
Yeah. We were wrong, by the way. Minnesota. So in the app, in the NHL app, you can look 1 to 8 based on points. I didn't know that. They would actually play the 3 seed would play the 6 seed, which the 6 seed currently right now is the Edmonton Oilers.
I mean, it's not a powerhouse without Turnstile, so I guess that would be still a good one.
Tampa would play Pittsburgh, and Montreal would play Boston, and then Dallas would play Anaheim. Just go ahead and
yeah,
lock
Dallas
Dallas
Anaheim.
in the
That would
second
be a 4-game sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Over a little bit more on the east side of things. Let me change our.
I am pumped for this Buffalo Boston series. I think Buffalo is going to beat the brakes off this team.
You think so?
I think so. Like Boston, like who do you really have? Like, sure, you have Jeremy Swayman, cool. He's better this year. But then you look at their blue lines, like Zadorov is a big guy, but he gives up the puck too much. Like all you really have is McAvoy on the blue line, really. That's the most experience. And then you got Pasta, but then who else? Who else is gonna like, you know what I mean? Like Buffalo, like Kevin Adams, I saw that he was interviewing like certain teams for the GM. If you're seeing what Buffalo's doing, you don't want Kevin Adams as your GM. So
right.
Yeah. At the top ladder of the bracket, I would be scared between Bruins, Lightning, and Canadians. At least on the other side of that ladder, if Buffalo wins, I would be between Tampa and Montreal. I would be almost scared to be going on to the second round with playing against potentially Buffalo.
Yeah.
And
especially if they're going to be playing.
I'm wearing the black jerseys all playoffs.
Okay, see. So I was listening to something about that, and it was talking about how Dallas is wearing their alternate 90s, like, in in the
What,
modern
the black?
So the North
the black
Stars.
one. Yeah, with the old Dallas. The
Oh,
of
that
Dallas
one.
and like the star. They're supposed to wear that in the playoffs. They were talking about Buffalo, in why I don't remember if they said that they should wear the black uniforms because that was the last time they had any success in the playoffs.
I go black all the way.
I think you
All the
have
way.
to.
All the way.
Like
You have to
these
bring the
Buffalo
goat down.
fans are just as crazy as Bill fans.
Yeah.
You gotta do it, and they have the white alternates the same Buffalo head, so I would totally do that.
Why
I would be
not?
rocking those jerseys 100% the whole way through.
Yeah, I'm surprised more teams aren't wearing their alternators. Like, well, I guess some teams can, but I loved. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium Series jersey in the playoffs.
See, I didn't really care for that jersey all that much. I like their new third jersey better.
Yeah,
I'd probably do their 04 jerseys.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. But burst my bubble.
So basically you want Anaheim to just have the Mighty Ducks when
dude,
they were owned by Disney.
Yeah, I hate Anaheim. I don't hate Anaheim's uniforms. I hate that they have orange shoulders on their away jerseys. It looks so much better if it was just white.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So much better, especially with the orange helmet. It's too much orange right here.
I mean, it's better than the D foot or whatever it was, like a D web.
I do like their home uniforms though. They're pretty sweet. All orange.
What, the all orange?
Yeah, that's the only time it looks good. When it's if you're doing it, you might as well do it all. Which series in the East intrigues you the most, Brandon?
Probably the Canes Senators. Yeah, I would have to say is going to be the most interesting one in my eyes, just because the Senators are a team that you didn't think were going to be making the playoffs, and then they make this big push to get in.
Thanks.
And I feel like with the momentum and everything that they currently have, I feel like they could make a surprise and beat the Canes.
Yeah. I can see.
Yeah, they're like, how do I describe it? It's like the Canes are like a Costco and the Senators are like a Winn-Dixie. It's like they almost play the same, just with different people. But I think the Canes have to go deep in this playoffs, man. Like with who they have, like what they have. Like I know Brand Bussy has been kind of busting lately, and Frederick Anderson, you can't trust him in the playoffs anymore. So it's like that's gonna be their problem. But I think they're with who they have now, it's gonna be better for them, I guess, in the long run. Even though Keandre Miller, you're not gonna see anything from him in the playoffs. He's gonna disappear.
So does Nicholas Ehlers.
Yeah, he didn't disappear.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I think that would be a fun one to watch. I think the Pittsburgh Philly series is going to be just a freaking bloodbath. I think this one will be fun. It's an in-state rival. Neither of these two teams have been in the playoffs for what 3 years now, 2 years now.
Well, yeah, Pittsburgh was like 4
time. Yeah. I think this series is going to be fun to watch.
I think this is better than a Pittsburgh-Washington, in all honesty. We're old enough where we've seen it so many times that I'm kind of glad that didn't happen this time.
It would have been cool though to see Crosby and Ovechkin, because I do think they're both retiring after the season. They just haven't said it yet. I think this is the end of an era.
Sydney, I think Crosby is definitely done. I for some reason I still feel like there's a question mark for Ovi.
I don't know.
I even though there's really I would think there would be no reason for him to really continue unless he wants to just further put that goal record that much farther out of reach. But I mean, to me, it's already way out there. If anybody wants to break it, you're going to be playing damn near your whole life in order to get that record.
I think the closest is like Austin Matthews, but he's been like consistently hurt. So
yeah,
he just missed half of this too. So that doesn't help.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, whoa.
Hey, you like that?
Motion censored. Motion censored.
Yeah, there you go.
I think the Pittsburgh Philly series, and we don't know. Oh, never mind. They both played 82 games, so Pittsburgh gets home ice.
Oh, that's still good though.
in that one for them. They were in St. Louis last night with playing the Blues.
Yeah, me and Aaron talked about that briefly whenever you kind of left for a minute.
Yeah. They didn't look. I mean, they were okay. I just think the Blues are playing better than they are.
They didn't look bad, but I like I said to Aaron earlier, I felt like Stuart Skinner kind of gave up that game a little bit for Pittsburgh in the goal.
Right. Yeah.
Just in my take.
Oh, did Aaron leave? Aaron leave, but gonna bring on. I guess Aaron left.
Oh, I
How's
can't
it going?
hear anything. Hold on, let me see.
Well, I can play you off really quick till you get it fixed, if that's all right.
Hmm. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it. Audio. All right, I'm gonna pop out and pop back in. Let's
Yeah,
see.
you're fine.
You're good.
We talked about the Utah Mammoth for a little bit, but I'm not going to be on, or we won't go too much longer, and whatnot. To being 8:45, I know Aaron said he had about 30 minutes tonight, so I appreciate it if he doesn't pop back in. Appreciate you, Aaron, for jumping in and talking some playoff hockey with us. Who's your? And I don't even know what direction to go with this because I've run out of questions, but I know all my questions that I was going to ask already.
Who's your dark horse, I guess, in the East?
In the East, I'll bring it's the Three Brandon show. Welcome in.
Hey.
Going on.
Brandon, other Brandon, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for
Fantastic.
joining in.
Sorry, I read 8 and I just assumed 8 Mountain, and then I saw Central. I was like, oh dang it, I am so late. So I apologize, guys.
You're good.
You're good, man.
Brandon, I think for me, dark horse in the East. That's tough because I don't feel like there's any. I mean, Carolina, I think, is a clear favorite to win the East. Should be the clear favorite to win. Maybe, I mean, Buffalo's right there too, I think. Maybe Philly. I think they have a little bit of a youth kind of movement, and the video clip that I saw when they clinched the playoff spot the other night was just, that place was insane.
Yeah,
from the looks of it. So I think that would be I think they're my dark horse out west. I've seen and brought in Salty Ash. Is it Salty Ash Insiders? Did I get that wrong?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. To talk about Utah a little bit and how excited you are for their first time in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I'm super stoked. It's gonna be cool. We haven't had obviously NHL playoffs, but even any kind of playoffs in the state for a while because the Jazz have been in tank mode the last 5 or so years. So getting that atmosphere back is going to be great. It's always been a blast when the Jazz have been in playoffs. It's always crazy loud, but yeah, I'm super stoked. I think depending on how Vegas, if they went out tonight, I think that's going to make it a really good series. For some reason, Oilers just have our goat, and we can't figure him out quite yet. But Vegas, I think, will be super competitive because other than the 2 where we shut them out at home, every single game has been really close with them. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
So
I think
that could be a dragged out 7-game series that could probably go one of 2 ways, and nobody knows what it
For
sounds like.
sure. And we're really close to each other. It's only like a 5.5 hour drive. And there's a few different airlines that fly in for less than $100.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be really easy for fans of both to go to both places. There's already some overeager beavers that are buying tickets up for the Vegas first game.
I can imagine.
just in
Plus, it's not
case.
that far of a drive either. I mean, it's what, probably a 3-4 hour drive from.
From Salt Lake, it's about 5.
Oh, okay. I figured it was
Yeah.
something around there. I didn't know the exact, because I've been
Yeah.
to Vegas and we took a road trip up to uh Utah, and it took a few hours to get up there, but I figured it wasn't too crazy.
It's not too bad, no. And if you really wanted, you can drive down, game, stay the night, drive back, and wouldn't miss out on much. So
Right.
I think
Yep.
it'll be really cool.
Yeah. We were talking about the Western Conference earlier, and we just talk about our favorites. Utah. Brandon brought up Utah as being, I think it was you, wasn't it? That talked
It was
about
me.
Utah being out of the 4 teams that do not have a Stanley Cup, being Utah, Minnesota, Buffalo, and Ottawa. He trusted Utah more than any of the other 3.
Wow, that's some high praise there. I think it's been an interesting season. We play our best games against better teams. I don't think we did end up losing to Colorado, I think by 2 on one of the games, but it was like an empty net on one of them. But other than that, we've kept within a goal or 2 every game playing them this season. Same with Dallas. Like we did really well with them. Same. I don't know if the Wild beat us this year actually. I think we've won every game against the Wild this year, which is crazy to think. Like we tend to play up to we tend to play to our opponent's level for some reason. Like we lost to the Flames on Sunday. Like who does that?
Yeah.
Um, especially when they're actively trying to
Yeah.
tank.
Then you
So
got us what tomorrow?
Yeah.
what was that?
You got us in St. Louis on tomorrow.
Yep. That's true. Yeah, and so we'll see. We played well against the Jets last night for the most part. We did give up a 3-goal lead down to 1-goal lead within 3 minutes. It was a little scary for a second there because I've seen us blow 3-goal leads to lose very quickly, very way too many times. But yeah, we've
feeling.
we'll see how it is. It just depends. Also, if any of the games are matinees, just count them as a Utah loss. We've never won a matinee game. If it starts before 5, we have never won. So
That's
in our
interesting.
history, no idea what it is. The Salt Lake nightlife is just too good for the boys. Apparently, people think we don't have one, but it's way too good. They stay out all night or something.
I know that. Well, they just always talk about Utah and Vegas being 2 upcoming sports cities, or Salt Lake at least. There's always the rumors of MLB eventually getting a team in Salt Lake. So there's
They're
got to
already
be
building the baseball
something going,
park,
right?
the stadium. They're already starting to build it.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
it'll be
They
interesting.
got to be doing
yeah.
something right. There's a question here about do you trust Utah's goalie situation in the playoffs?
So you guys probably don't know, but there's a little bit of lore with me. The reason I'm Broccoli Brandon is because I wear a broccoli hat to the games.
Okay.
I wear the broccoli hat because our goalie's last name is Vegmelka. We call him Veggie. So I wear a ridiculous vegetable hat. So I am a veggie guy. It can depend. I wouldn't say I would say even he would admit that it hasn't been his best season.
Right.
His rebound control.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Wi-Fi. Not doing the greatest.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Sorry about that.
You're good.
His rebound control has been pretty difficult. I would say most goals are scored off of a rebound. It's just tough. And it's something that he needs to work on. Overall, I think I can't remember which outlet published it, but it is a news outlet, a sports news outlet. But I think for the first time in like the last 30 years, goalie averages are below 0.9, which is pretty crazy. So we 0.9 has kind of always been the benchmark of you have a half decent goalie, but this year the majority of goalies are below that 0.9 range. And so I think it's going to be an adjustment for goalie coaches everywhere in the NHL. But as far as for the playoff situation, if our defense is on, I trust that. I think that they've both of them have bailed each other out quite a few times. Last night, Sergachev blocked a goal that honestly should have gone in. It was a wide open net. He was right there. Same with like Nate Schmidt. He just laid down in front of the empty net as someone was trying a wraparound, and our goalie was on the opposite side. So they were on and doing really well together and communicating well. I think it just depends. We could get a really hot one, or we could get a really cold night on it. But yeah, and who knows with Vitek Vanacek? He's barely played this year. I think it's been like 25 games maybe. And most losses, but a lot of the games he's played have been back to back. So it's kind of hard. I would say he's, he was the Panthers' backup goalie, but he never saw any playing time during the playoffs. So
Yeah,
so he's got a ring,
Yeah.
but yeah, he didn't really play. He played his part by staring down the who was it, Skinner, or just stared down Skinner, I guess, while during the warm-ups, and that was his role. He said he'd do it again, apparently. So I do think that that's part of our bigger weakness, though, is that inconsistencies with defense and goalie. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
I think that's a common thing though in the NHL right now. Is that there seems to be this thing with we brought up the goaltender issue. I don't think it's just Utah. I mean, if you look at Edmonton, I brought up Anaheim as being one of the teams too. St. Louis is another example, I think, of that. You have like it's almost a luck of the draw type of deal on who you go with. I mean, Joel Hofer had been the guy since the Olympic break, but you still have Jordan Bennington at the same time. Like he's been there, he's done that. But at least looking at the West, it seems to be a common issue in the West that you don't have like for sure, unless you're Winnipeg, a number one goalie.
Yeah. And it's interesting because Ingram left us, and no matter what the recent articles say, he didn't want to be here. Like that, it was a known fact throughout Utah, and he's been doing really well for Edmonton overall. Honestly, I think that would have been a really good tandem, but it's probably partially mental, but I think also he didn't want to be the backup to his backup. They had chosen Veggie as the starter. Veggie does tend to play better when he plays more. He maybe was a little overplayed this year, but he also missed almost 3 full weeks with the Olympics. He didn't play in the Czech Olympics for whatever reason. I think he suited up once, but didn't play at all. So I think that rest actually was to his detriment because he was playing some of his best goaltending before the Olympic break, and I think that did something.
Yeah, that's fair. Aaron bringing another question, and he was with us earlier. Had to go back to work and whatnot. So who would you rather see? It was something we talked about. Would you before we answer this one? Do you like the playoff format now, or would you rather go back to 1 and 8? So right now you're looking at playing
this year. I love
possibility of Edmonton or Vegas. Well,
yeah,
probably Vegas.
Probably Vegas. They've got to win tonight. If they win tonight, we play Vegas. I like the way it is now, and everybody's going to have years where they hate it and love it. Last year, the East was pretty weak. This year, the West is the weak one, and so the 1 through 16, that's just silly. Nobody's ever going to do that. Travel just doesn't work that way. 1 through 8, that's a possibility. I just don't think that they will. But this year I love it. Who knows what it'll be like next year?
Yeah.
I mean, our division is crazy strong. Obviously, with the top 3 out of the top 5 teams in the league are pretty much in our division. And maybe there's an argument that it's not 5 or they're not the top 5, all 3 of them, but it's pretty close. As far as a playoff matchup goes, though, I'd want Vegas over the Oilers. We barely just beat the Oilers for the first time in our history over the 6 matchups, and it took overtime, and it was 11 goal total in that 6-5. So it's it's a rough one. Our defense, before my apologies for my daughter running in and yelling on that, but before my daughter came in and started yelling, I was gonna say our defense is pretty slow for the most part. We do have some older guys in there. Nate Schmidt is older, Ian Cole is older, Mackenzie Weegar, who we have now, is older. They're just not as fast as some of these new forwards, and they can and obviously Connor McDavid, not a new forward, but he's just so fast and he makes it look effortless. But they just have trouble containing those breakouts for sure. And I think but I think Vegas is they've got an aging group, and I think that's easier for us to play them.
Especially with how young and fast your guys' offense is. I mean, you guys have such dynamic group on your offense that I feel like if they get their game going, I feel like that's something that they could easily get around a lot of the guys that play for Vegas and be able to get pucks on net.
Yeah. I mean, it showed in the games we played this year. They were pretty close. We did have one shutout against them in Vegas. But when we can get going, it's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
The final question here, and unfortunately we're about to wrap it up.
You're good.
What was your thoughts of the Robert Thomas to Utah trade during the?
That was a good question.
The trade deadline. Because there was a lot that was involved in it.
There's a lot of speculation on that during the trade deadline. There's a lot of
speculation. GMBA loves him. Obviously, he drafted him.
Yeah.
And we're all about in GMBA we trust. He's going to get us that cup. But I think that Dougie he was overvaluing him because of the trade deadline, which happens, and that's fair. Most teams do. But I just think he was wanting too much. While I think Thomas is a great get and would be a great player, I don't know that he is worth 2 top 10 picks, which is what the rumor was. And he wanted Tijan or Desnoyers plus Boot plus Maverick Lamoureux plus a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So 4 first rounds for one player. I just don't.
That would be a little taxing, I would imagine, for probably Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we've got prospects up the wazoo, but those are our top picks for the last 3 years almost.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it for one player who, while good, is not top 10 in the league. I think he would fit great. I would love to have him for the right price, honestly. I just don't see it as a Tige or Desnoyers plus 3 additional first rounds. I think that potentially the argument could be made for one or like one or the other for Tige or Desnoyers, and then of another one of those 3, which is one of the first rounds, either pick one of the 3 or a future, or one of the 2 or a future, and then another higher second round. And I think that would be a more fair one. I just don't see 4 first rounds for him.
Yeah, that's what a lot of us in St. Louis were thinking. I mean, whenever they said that they were shopping him, and then they said what they were wanting for Thomas, that Nobody in their right mind in the league is going to give up that kind of assets for just one singular player.
Yeah, if it was McDavid, yeah, sure. The Minnesota
Yeah.
Wild did it. They did it for Quinn Hughes, and he's probably going to end up signing there. And people still think New Jersey, but I don't think they. I think New Jersey had the chance, and their sign and trade with him wasn't going to be what he wanted. So I think they backed out, or he backed out on that trade and was willing to go to the Wild. So,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah, just curious because it was a very, very hot topic in St. Louis because of the way the season was, and it somehow, some way, the trade deadline ended up working, and we moved some older legs, I guess you could say, to free up some space for the young guys that the Blues do have, and it almost paid off.
Almost
paid
yeah.
off. I blame the late season West California road trip basically for the Blues not getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those long road trips can be brutal too.
Yep.
And all those teams were surging at that time too. They just were all doing really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is what we experienced last year. I think we went on an East Coast road trip to end it all when those East teams were surging, and we ended up missing by 7 points, and we were on track to actually make it, and then we went on a 4 or 5 game losing streak at the end. Took us out.
You can't lose to the teams that are right above you. You can beat, like we were talking about the 2 games against Colorado. It's like, yeah, those are important, but we have to beat San Jose and we have to beat LA and you have to beat Anaheim if you want to.
And they're tanking all 3.
Yeah. You go out and give LA 2 points, you only get 1, and then you let San Jose score in the last minute of the game to drop 2 points in that one. It's what it is, though, at this point. I think the Central Division, like you mentioned, is probably, it's still, in my eyes, one of the tougher divisions in hockey, even with the Nashville came on a lot better than I think a lot of people expected.
Selling at the deadline and being right there.
Chicago was Chicago. I don't expect Chicago to be solid for a little bit. Give them another 2 years.
Beat them this year.
Yeah.
0-4 this year
against Chicago.
Yep. We don't like to talk about it, but yep.
That would get everybody fired in St. Louis. Don't worry. But no, I appreciate you jumping on for the for the remainder of the time we had here. Brandon.
Anytime, fellas.
Yeah.
Good meeting, man.
Yeah, I'd love to have you back at any point in time to talk some playoff hockey.
Okay, sounds good. See you guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
Wrap things up. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Brandon, for jumping on.
Of course.
Thank you, Brandon, for jumping on too. I'm gonna get out of here so I can go to bed because I got to work tomorrow. And
make 2 of us.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I have to.
Thankfully, tomorrow's my Friday. I don't have to go to work on Friday. So,
you lucky dog. Lucky dog, you. But we'll be back with some more playoff coverage and more talks as the playoffs kind of gear up. We're super excited about it, even though our St. Louis Blues aren't in it this year. There's still 6 really cool teams that we haven't gotten to see in the playoffs in a while that are in this year. So if you have not had the opportunity to watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, I promise you they're one of the most exciting chunks of playoffs. If you're a March Madness person, you love March Madness, you cannot stop watching March Madness. I promise you, if you watch the Stanley Cup playoffs, you will think the same thing.
It's a different level of hockey. Let's just be honest there. It's
so much to watch.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we'll get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you for the next episode of The 5 Hole here on Friday Sports Network.